This is the only theory about the Entwives that Tolkien himself hinted at, but never dared to write down. Now, let me show you why.
The hard truth about the lost Entwives. Prologue: The Archive's darkest secret.
There is a secret in these archives of Minas Tirith, one that J.R.R. Tolkien never intended to be solved. A mystery so profound, so painful, that most scholars dare not touch it. They prefer their comfortable theories. But I am not a scholar. I am an archivist, and my duty is not to comfort, but to preserve the truth, no matter how bleak. Today, I will show you why everything you believe about the fate of the Entwives is a comforting lie. So sit. Set aside the world for a moment. What you are about to hear will change how you see Middle-earth, and perhaps yourself forever.
The obsession of the Seekers.
I see them all. The young adepts, the passionate fans. They burst through those doors, eyes alight with the fire of discovery. They clutch their notes, their highlighted texts, convinced they have found the one clue, the one sentence everyone else missed for 50 years. One such seeker just last week thrust a copy of The Two Towers at me, pointing to the description of the wild herbs in Ithilien. "See," he said, "the plain green leaves and small white flowers. It must be a remnant of their gardens." And do you know what I told him? I told him that Samwise Gamgee, the very hobbit who noticed those plants, never once connected them to the Entwives. Not a single character in the entire War of the Ring ever claims to have found a trace of them. The greatest gardeners and the most ancient shepherds of the land, all silent. That is not an oversight. That is evidence. They speak of hidden valleys, of magical realms across the sea. They fill the silence with beautiful, hopeful noise. And when they present their grand findings, I ask them one simple question. Have you ever considered the possibility that they are simply gone? The fire in their eyes dies. It is a blasphemy. You see, people love mysteries, but only the kind that have an answer waiting at the end. The Entwives are not that kind of mystery. They are a void.
The Master's Illusion.
What if I told you that you have been the victim of a brilliantly executed magic trick? Tolkien was a master illusionist. Watch his hands. He shows you Treebeard. He makes you feel his ancient sorrow, his longing for Fimbrethel. He describes their gardens so vividly you can almost smell the turned earth. But you never see them. You never hear them. You never walk in their gardens. And yet, you feel their absence as keenly as any presence. You mourn for them. How is that possible? Because Tolkien wasn't writing about loss. He was making you feel it. The Entwives are not a mystery because they vanished. They are a mystery because they were never shown. Their power lies not in their story, but in their echo. This is part of what makes it Tolkien's greatest unsolved mystery.
The clue everyone missed.
And for those who demand textual proof, there is one word, one single, devastating word in the Two Towers. Treebeard says, "We remembered their gardens," not "we visited," not "we search for," not "we hope to see again." Remembered. Past perfect. An action completed. A thing of the past locked in memory.
The fury everyone hates.
So, what is the dull, ugly truth this old archivist has pieced together from the silence? Sauron exterminated them. It is a theory everyone hates. It is not romantic. It offers no hope. It is just final. But it is the only one that fits the terrible silence that followed. Sauron's world was one of ash, iron, and control. The Entwives were creatures of growth, cultivation, and peaceful order, an order he did not command. They were life he could not corrupt, so he simply erased it. Consider the geography, the Brown Lands, that desolate, scorched place east of the Anduin that the Fellowship passes with a shudder. The Appendices tell us it was not always so. Once it was verdant. It was the gardens of the Entwives that were destroyed in the War of the Last Alliance. The text uses that specific word, destroyed, not lost, not hidden, destroyed. He burned the gardens and silenced the gardeners. It was not a grand battle. It was an extermination. This is the hard truth about the fate of the Entwives.
The women forgotten by history.
But let us step back. Why do we weep for the Entwives and not for the countless women of Arnor, left to mourn husbands who never returned? Or the mothers of Rohan, whose homes were burned by Dunlendings? Why do their silent tragedies not haunt us? Because Tolkien, through the Entwives, gave a face to all of them. He took the universal suffering of women in war, the silent, forgotten collateral damage of men's conflicts, and gave it a name, a mythology. The Entwives symbolize every life quietly erased by the march of war, every garden that was paved over for a fortress.
The ties that bind us.
And this is where the story leaves the pages and enters your heart. This is not just a tale of Middle-earth, it is a mirror. That lost love you still think about, the path you didn't take, the friend who faded away, the version of yourself you left behind. We all have our Entwives. We all carry absences that have shaped the people we've become. Treebeard, in his endless patient grief, becomes more human to us because we see our own losses reflected in his ancient eyes. We understand that some loves are not forgotten, they are absorbed into our very being.
The beauty of absence and call to action.
And so people still come to me, pleading, "Radagast, where are they? Will they return?" And my answer remains, stop searching. Because the mystery is more beautiful than any answer could ever be. The unanswered question is the soul of the myth. It teaches us that there are wounds that do not fully heal, losses that are not redeemed, and that we must find a way to walk forward carrying them. If this truth, this way of seeing Tolkien's world has resonated with you, then do an old archivist 2 small kindnesses. First, smash that like button. It is the signal fire that tells other seekers where to find this fellowship of thought. And second, subscribe to this channel. If you wish to delve deeper into the secrets these archives hold, more tales await. But most importantly, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, where do your Entwives live? What is the loss that quietly shaped you? Your stories are the true continuation of this tale.
Epilogue: The Legacy.
I have spent a lifetime among these scrolls and tomes, and the greatest lesson they have taught me is that the most powerful stories are not those with all the answers, but those that live on in the questions they plant within us. The Entwives were never meant to be found. They were meant to be longed for. Their legacy is not a location on a map, but a permanent, gentle ache in the heart of every reader. They remind us that Middle-earth, like our own world, is built as much on loss as it is on victory. So if you ever feel that ache, and ask me one more time, Radagast, what became of them? I will simply smile and say, they are where all the most important things are, in the story you continue to tell yourself. Now, my friend, let this story sit with you, for the tales that truly matter never truly end.